Here's a sneak peek of what your Echo can do that we're going to discuss in this very episode. What is the best podcast?
Why the Echo Tips podcast, of course.
See?
It is amazing and hosted by David Ward. And I'm kind of a co-host.
You are.
Great news. Cataract surgery is 4 days away. Better start getting ready.
Hello, welcome to the podcast. As you could hear from our prelude this week, we're going to be dealing with some kind of nifty things you can do with your Amazon Echo, where you basically make your own skills, your own kind of customized Amazon Echo to do the things you want, to answer questions the way you want them answered, maybe help out with some things around the house with home organization and the family and chores and all sorts of cool things. That's right. We're delving back into blueprints. Amazon Echo blueprints. This goes all the way back to episode 154, where we covered this topic before, but that was a mighty, mighty long time ago. So we're going to dust it off and take a look again at some of the new hot features that are connected with blueprints. But before we get into that in any sort of detail, I'd like to first introduce who I am to our new listeners who have no idea what this podcast is. Welcome to the Echo Tips podcast, you new listeners. You'll find our episodes are nuggetized episodes, usually 5 to 15 minutes long. I think last week I went way, way, way longer, so I apologize for that. We try to generally keep things short. It's for young people, it's for parents, it's for caregivers, it's for elderly ones, it's for those with disabilities, home automation, new hardware, new equipment, new skills. We talk about it all, and we even talk about the future of the Amazon Echo as we did last week, and what we're looking forward to maybe seeing in the fall with our virtual assistants. But anywho, we'd like to welcome you here, and because of you and our returning listeners, we have over 114, I just looked at it today, 114,000 listens to the podcast. So it's great to have you here and good to have you with us. So before we delve into blueprints again, we're going to take a brief moment to hear a little more about our podcast, and then we'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Well, hello again, and it's good to have you all back. As we mentioned, the topic of this week is going to be none other than blueprints. That's right, blueprints. So you may ask yourself, what is, Dave? What is blueprints? I don't exactly understand. And the naming convention isn't great. I guess it does kind of give you the idea of it's some sort of like architected thing, I guess. But it's really kind of like a turnkey skill for your Amazon Echo so that you don't have to go out to a developer and find something. You can kind of customize something for your very own family, business purposes, and the like. And so I'm going to give you just a real quick demonstration, and then I'll tell you how you can set up your own, where you go to go do that, and you may just be surprised at the sheer level of things that are out there. So let me give you one real quick example. By the way, if you have an Echo in hearing distance of me, you may want to shut its ears off because I'm about to say the A-lady name, and we don't bleep that word out in this podcast. We let it fly, all right? So if you do hear, although these are very specific things that I've customized my Echo to, so yours won't even know how to respond to them, but nonetheless, I don't want to be like disrupting the training or whatever you're getting here while. So if you have a second, just mute the ears on that. And hopefully everybody's had a chance. And so now, by the way, Episode 154, we covered this before. You can always go back and say, hey, lady, play episode 154 of the Echo Tips podcast and go back in time and hear those episodes. So that's a great function of our podcast, as I love the ability for you to go back and learn something new or revisit something. Okay, so here's a very simple example. Alexa, who is David Ward?
David Ward is the assistive technology instructor for the New Vision program of Goodwill of the Valleys. He has mad skills and is quite a tech ninja.
Skills. So super cool, super cool. Watch this one too. This is fun. Alexa, what is the best podcast?
Why the Echo Tips podcast, of course.
See?
It is amazing and hosted by David Ward. And I'm kind of a co-host.
You are. So isn't that cool? Now, those are kind of unique amongst the Blueprint skills because they natively can be just queried at any time. You don't have to be like in a skill. Like, when you're in WebMD, you have to be in WebMD before you ask about the side effects of Tylenol or something. Or you're in the Bible app before you ask it to read Genesis 1:1. With these, this is very native. And there's not many things like this in the Blueprints arena, but this is one of them. And these are called Q&A. So that's one of them. Before I tell you how to do it, let me show you one more. This one's a little more complex and modern. This one was back in episode 154. It's called How Many Days? So you can configure this one to say count down to how many days till, I don't know, summer vacation if you're in college or at school, how many days until your anniversary if you're married or whatever, or I guess whatever you want to count down to, I mean, you could set it wherever you want, and it can even be set as an annual item, so it will, after you hit the date, it'll reloop and start all over again. So that's pretty cool. So I set this one up, and let me demonstrate that. Now, I could do this two ways. I could say, hey, lady, open how many days, or I could say, hey, lady, how many days until my anniversary, or whatever the name is I gave it. So I have a cataract surgery coming up because I have an eye disorder that made me get much younger than most people. And so mine is connected with a cataract surgery. So I'm going to say, Alexa, how many days till cataract surgery?
Great news. Cataract surgery is 4 days away. Better start getting ready.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. So super cool. Now, once you let's delve into how I configured that or created those blueprints, which act like skills, or which are basically synonymous. Blueprints and skills are the same thing basically, but the blueprints are kind of like ones you create yourself. Now, you can go on a computer or a tablet to blueprints.com. That's blueprints with an S. I said .com. I'm sorry. Blueprints.amazon.com. And then if you aren't already logged in to your current Amazon account that all your A-Ladies or Echoes are on, you need to log into that. And once you're logged into that, you're going to see a whole plethora of opportunities, like I just said, like the Q&A, where you can set up custom questions and answers she responds on, like she knew who I was and that question and what the right answer was. What was the best podcast? Those were Q&As. Also, other features you'll see in there, all sorts of family-related things, chores for the children, school schedules, so they can ask her about their school schedules. That was great during the pandemic and class from home. Feed the dog, all sorts of, chore trackers. For kids, storytelling things you could customize as a parent, and all sorts of fairy tales, sci-fi, moon landing, trips, vacations, stories, and stuff, all sorts of stuff in there that you can configure to customize to your child. There's a lot of cool business functions in there too, like for onboarding purposes. So if you have Amazon Echoes in your business, you can set that up, or, like I use it in the classroom at the training center. So it says, people can ask, hey, what's the Wi-Fi password, or where's the bathroom? And it'll know how to answer those questions basically. There are some really cool ones under the communications category, which are pretty sophisticated, where you can basically publish some of these things directly to the A-Lady Skills store so that they would be available, I guess, nation or worldwide. I'm not too sure if worldwide is an option, but probably nationwide. And so Some of those are connected with it reading your blog, the ability to basically create your own kind of flash briefing customization where it pulls from an audio feed or like a podcast feed or an RSS feed for news, or even just a text thing it reads. So really sophisticated things it can do. I think one is even connected if you are a blogger with that uses WordPress. You can put a plug in there and it will convert it to audio and then play it almost like a podcast for all your blog posts. So some really sophisticated things it can do in there. One of them is even to connect to a live stream, which is kind of interesting. We a few years ago paid to have a skill developed for that very service, for the radio reading service for the blind, where it's connected to a live stream of what the radio station is reading each day, like newspapers and things for the blind. And we paid money for that, but this thing I think allows you to very much build that yourself and then just, turnkey and publish it to the store. Now you can also, it looks like in many cases, distribute these privately. So they're not on the store, but you could send a link to friends or family members that have Echoes on other accounts that could have access to the same kind of stuff. So it's kind of interesting, but by all means, check out blueprints.amazon.com to find out more. So, and they've got more sophisticated, like the one that I did with the How Many Days Until even allowed you to customize the opening statement, like, hey, congratulations, you have so many days. And then afterwards, oh, yeah, la, 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 put on your pirate patch, Dave, because you're going to be having cataract surgery. And it could rotate through the types of responses it had, and I could customize those, and even have audio little jingles, like applause, 5 days until your anniversary or whatever. It had all these sorts of jingles you could assign to this thing as well. So that's pretty cool when they're adding that kind of customization and kind of personality to things, I think. Okay, well, that will bring this episode to a close. If you have thoughts or suggestions about a future episode, we would love to hear your feedback, and you can do that on Facebook or Twitter at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and we'd love to hear your feedback. You can also reach out to us via email at info@goodwillvalleys.com, and you can reach out to us there as well. Just earmark it that it's for the Echo Tips podcast or for Dave at the Echo Tips podcast, and people make sure that I get notified about it as well. So that'd be awesome. Well, until next time, it is time to turn the ears back on your Echo, start practicing some of the many, many things you've learned. I'm David Ward for the New Vision program, and we do thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dave. Let me tell you a bit more. Let me put on my official sounding voice. Ahem, ahem. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Phew! Thanks for listening.